If we bring it to the transport sector, as a driver of a Matatu, do I have the right to dialogue with my employer? As an employer, do I have the right to dialogue with my worker? Dialogue being a two-way process. So when we take those 4 areas, voice and dialogue, employment, social protection, and rights at work, this is what defines the decent work agenda. Based on that, the ILO, with support from the government of Norway, in the discussions in the ILO governing body, the questions came as to, with all these laws, in trying to respect all the international standards that are set by the ILO, what is the impact on the small and medium businesses? And when you look at Kenya, when you look at Africa in general, the majority of the businesses and the majority of workers are in this sector. It is for this that the discussion to have the project, Labor Growth Nexus project.
The ILO's agenda is decent work. The Low Growth Nexus project is contributing to this goal in modest ways. And this morning, we will all be able to learn a little bit more about our work and our focus in Kenya. What our plans and hopes are for the Matatu sector, why this sector is so important, why it was chosen, how it looks like currently, and what are the labor legislation issues coming out of the sector.
What is Nexus? And I just want to give you a simple definition of the word Nexus. It is a bridge, a connection, a tie. So basically, the Nexus project is all about bridging the labor laws and MSc development. What we are trying to do is to bridge between the unregulated, poor quality, and sustainable development, which is so common, to having something regulated and higher quality, rights-based and sustainable development. And how are we doing this? Because we know that legal institutions and laws have a direct bearing on the formation and growth of enterprises. What labor laws aim to do is to improve job quality and promote decent work.
Personally, whenever I get to a country, if I have traveled to a country and I want to see the development level of that country, there are 2 sectors that I observe. The public transport sector, how disciplined that sector is, and the building sector, how active that sector is. But I am disappointed that the Matatu sector has not attained growth as it should have, many years after it came into being in this country, in the sense that it has kept the traffic police department in place. I believe there's no other reason that we have a traffic police department, which I long for its abolition one day, so that we only have highway police who are conducting surveillance on our highways and get rid of. But it is you people, it is because of your indiscipline that you have allowed the traffic department to exist in this country. To be self-disciplined is better than to have somebody following you and ordering you here and there on what to do.
The transport and communication sector is actually the 2nd largest contributor of GDP. But the sector is the 5th and the 4th largest contributor to wage and SME employment. In terms of wage employment, it contributes 5.5%, but in terms of SME employment, it contributes 3.1%. So within that particular framework, you can see that the sector that we are talking about is a critical sector in terms of promoting economic growth and in terms of promoting employment creation. Now, road transport is a key component of the transport and communication sector. It explains 50% of the value of output of the sector, but this is compared to communications, which is explaining only 19%, and air transport, which is explaining 16%. And then it also accounts for 93% of total passenger and freight service in the country. So that one continues to emphasize the fact that we are talking about a very critical sector. But then when we come to Matatus and motor omnibuses, which were the focus of this particular study, they are actually common modes of public transport in our country. And for the purposes of this particular study, we adopted the definition or the definition as given in the Traffic Act, Section 2, which says that a Matatu is a public service vehicle that has a seating capacity of 25 people, excluding the driver. Then motor omnibuses are public service vehicles with a capacity of more than 25 passengers, but excluding the driver still. So this sector, or the Matatus and motor omnibuses, creates employment and income generation opportunities, as has already been highlighted by Eunice. However, we have a feeling that the jobs in the Matatu industry are precarious in nature. Precarious in terms of high levels of job insecurity, low levels of social protection, and there is the issue of weak representation. But this brings into question the effectiveness of this particular industry as a tool for socio-economic transformation and prosperity that we look for in the Vision 2030.
To move this agenda forward, we need to have the different players talking to each other, the different authorities talking to each other, understanding what are the issues that everybody in the sector is facing. I think this is key, and this is a key message that we are going to take as we move along.